we are then. Weekend getaway to Maine. Quick charge in Amesbury, Massachusetts before we head up to Portland. Grocery store and lunch options over there. 99 sit-down restaurant coming soon there. Macca's and fowl options over there. Plus a river walk, which we don't have time for. 55%, 100 plus miles on the GOM, heading off. So as you can see, we didn't start out with a full charge, but that is reset trip meter with 112 miles and 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour. Outside temperature definitely a drag on this trip, below freezing, and high speeds on the interstate keeping up with traffic. But here we are, Portland, Maine. So, first time for everything, charging on a motorcycle dealership. Let's see. So there we are. It's not at all dissimilar to the units that you probably see in BMW dealerships, and the same, it's kind of a medium fast charger, or a level 2.5, whatever you want to call it. It's, you know, we see the medium power on here. If we go back to the charging screen, it doesn't consider it a fast charger per se, but this is on the ChargePoint network at Big Moose, Harley Davidson. Can't really see much here in the dark, but yeah, it seems to be free. I was hoping, well, I don't know, you know, you're never sure with pricing, but the ChargePoint app isn't charging anything or isn't costing anything whilst we juice up here, and the machine, the station actually says paid via the app, but no, it is all free. So I'm just gonna get a few percent here just out of interest, but yeah, that's interesting. It's the first Harley Davidson dealership I've been to in my life, actually, not just to charge an electric vehicle, but there you go, another addition to the charging network. Again, dealership charging, never the fastest, but you know, when you need just a little bump, this can work. So there you go. Thank you, Big Moose Harley Davidson. Day 2, Sunday of the Portland, Maine road trip then. So this is not destination charging as we know it, but it is destination charging as in the hotel is close to several L2s in that direction, Big Moose Harley Davidson in that direction, and Allagash Brewing with some L2 plugs, so plenty of L2 to go around, and we got charged up. There is a Toyota Lexus dealership right there, but as we know, Toyota chooses not to plug in, so there's no plugs. But we have plenty to get back today, and we're going to spend some time in Portland, so we may plug in extra, go to the Allagash Brewery, check that out, and that's day 2. Let's go. So what's one of my favorite places to find a plug? A brewery. Yep. Thank you, Allagash Brewing. Good place to have a little flight and a sample of some good beer. And get a few extra miles on the GOM for the road home. One little trip into Portland again, and then we'll be off on the road. Great weekend break to Portland then, no problems charging at all around here. Decent L2 infrastructure for destination charging and charging whilst you're seeing the city. Here's how we end up before we head home. So this is probably, it's gone up. I had 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour with a lot of highway driving and cycling the heat on and off over the first 110 miles, then about 30-40 miles worth of local driving around the various sites in and out of town. So we're not quite fully charged here. I actually had it on Hilltop Reserve anyway, but we've got 170 miles to do the 100 odd miles back to Boston. And yeah, we'll check out the Electrify America site if we have time here. That's going in a little bit further south. So yeah, before we head back here to Boston, we will just go down and check out where the Electrify America site is going in. It's probably needed because the EVgo 50 kilowatt units in this area, which is not far from where we are right now, and then I think there's another one out just outside of town, further south here. They're not that reliable by the looks of it. They have pretty low scores on plug share. One is under repair. I think that's the one in town here. So we've mostly, as you'll see in the video, hopefully relied on local level 2s for destination charging at places we were going anyway, into the town here and then over where we were staying. And also a quick top up on the Big Moose Harley Davidson level 2.5 medium fast charger, whatever you want to call it. So we'll hit the road here. I think what I'm going to do is ask my wife to drive the way back, see if she can do better than the 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour I got on the way up here, because she has a more calmer, should we say, driving style, and probably won't quite hit the heights, higher speeds that I was pushing on the way up. So we'll see if that makes a difference. It's very similar temperatures here. Here we go then. Looks like these are the Signet units. Obviously not ready to roll yet. Rainproof, yeah, manufactured by Signet. Rainproof, good. So it's four stations. There's your CHAdeMO, 50 kilowatt, 150 kilowatt, and the plug hanging precariously. Two 350s and a 150 kilowatt here. Pre-icing already. It's a little bit close to one of the entrances. That could be a problem, but you know, maybe far enough, it's okay. What's nice here is you've got more restaurants over there, but this is needed. The others, the EV Go's, looks of it, I didn't test them out, didn't really need them, but they weren't so sharp, looked like they were under repair, so this will give some redundancy in an area just south of Maine, Scarborough, Maine. Hopefully will help us on future road trips. This is where they've installed a couple of new charge point units for Efficiency Maine. In fact, I think you can see them there, glowing green, just behind there. So it's right next to about 8 Tesla superchargers, 2 charge point express 250 units, and that's all from the money from VW Dieselgate at state level. So that's Efficiency Maine installing them here at the Kennebunk service area. So that's about 20-30 miles south of Portland, and should provide a pretty useful route to fast charge on your way up. Okay, so these are the results of our return trip from Portland, Maine to just north of Boston, Massachusetts. So we cycled the heater on and off. It wasn't too bad in terms of temperature. I think we had 35 or 36 degrees Fahrenheit beginning, and slowly dropped down to just below freezing as we got closer to Boston and into the night. The driving accessory is 95%, that's pretty good. 5% for climate settings, that's basically getting the windscreen cleared, cycling the heater for a little bit of extra warmth once it got colder. That minor stuff, so not too bad. 34.2 kilowatt hours used, so just over half the battery to go almost 114 miles. So in terms of efficiency, my wife absolutely nailed it. We got up to 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. The mileage is slightly different there, just a little off compared to the 113.7. Got 112.4 because we reset a little bit after this reset. But 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. That was interesting to watch, actually. Good. The last 10-15 miles will what really put us up to 3.4, but for the first 90 miles we were up to 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. So she really got quite a lot back there, just driving slightly slower, you know, still on the speed limit, just around that, but you know, that 4 or 5 miles an hour slower can really make a difference, because on the way up, very similar conditions, but she got up to 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour without sacrificing any, you know, real speed. You lose a little bit, but to be honest, you can just, you know, sit in the right or middle lanes, let those people fly by you at full speed and do their thing, and you can still get 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour around these close to freezing temperatures, which is a good sign. You know, that's have to do the sums there and put up what 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour will get you on a full charge compared to what 2.9 will. But you know, we were warm enough the whole way there and back. It wasn't terrible. Obviously, if you get down to, you know, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, you're really going to be using the heater a lot more, so this isn't necessarily... Oh, we've got a bit of battery conditioning kicking in there now as well, now that I've turned the car on. But that gives you a good idea of what you'll get around this freezing point if you're up in, you know, the northern reaches of the USA, you know, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and upper Michigan, or, you know, a lot of Canada. Obviously you guys get much more much harsher winters, much lower temperatures than we do, so that's a slightly different case, and we can't really recreate that for you, sorry. But this is pretty good indication of what we'll see for the next few months. Not quite in winter yet, but we're getting there, and that was a good trip.